Okay, and we are live. Hello, everyone. Today we are very happy because we are joined by our friend Laura, and Laura and I are going to be doing reading sprints slash productivity sprints. I know that Laura had mentioned to me what she's going to be doing, but if you want to let everyone know what you are going to be doing here today.
Yeah, so I think I mentioned that I just recently moved to Ottawa, but I'm here because I'm doing a master's degree in applied linguistics and discourse studies. So I have some readings and like coursework to do for that. And then I'm also reading Beautiful World, Where Are You by Sally Rooney. So that might take priority. I don't know. I'll see how I'm feeling. Um, and then I also just sort of need to do some general managing emails and managing my planner and checking out what's what's on for today. So yeah.
Basically getting everything set up and good for the rest of like
Yes,
the day, weekend, and time ahead, right?
exactly.
um Yeah, and so Olivia and I, we're going to be doing some planning. So that's how we're going to start today. We have to plan out what we're reading, and then we're going to read, and then we're going to see how it goes. I have some more work related reads to do, but also I have three potential contenders. So the different contenders that I have are. I have The Witch Haven, which is a little bit big, so I might start this before the sweater weather like readathon, and then kind of finish it up during that week, which is kind of like cheating, but I don't care. And then we also have Near the Bone, which is by Christina Henry, and I love her. Alice by Christina Henry is one of my favorite books by her, one of my favorite books ever. So I might go on to that, or I might continue to read lore, which is not keeping my interest, if I am perfectly honest. So we'll see how this goes. I may read it for completion's sake. And
Who is
then
it by?
Alexandra Bracken. Yeah.
Okay, doesn't I don't know. Looks like there's some people here too.
Yes. Hello, Charmaine. How are you?
Hi.
Kiara. Hello.
Mhm.
Hey, Shannon. So let us know, like, what do you plan on doing? Are you going to use this time for productivity? Are you going to be using this time just for like reading? Let us know what you guys are going to be doing. So we are gearing this a little bit more towards productivity. So basically, there will be slightly less chatting than our normal reading sprints. But we will be doing like 30-minute like intervals as before. And then we'll do like a little check in between.
It's actually really beautiful out here, so I might even like bring you outside later.
Oh, that would be
Like just bring
great.
onto my deck or something. So
Is it warm there?
um, yeah, nice. I mean, it's not it's sort of it does still feel like fall weather, but it's comfortable to be outside in a t-shirt and everything.
Oh, that's good.
I don't know
Um,
the exact temperature, but oh, I can check.
so
19 degrees.
19 degrees is nice. It
Hmm.
is not as warm here. And it's funny because everyone on Instagram I find is just saying, like, we want the sweater weather. Like, we want it to be like colder and crisper. And I don't know about you, Laura, but in Canada, it stays cold for a very long time. So I'm okay with having it warm for a little bit longer,
Yeah,
to be honest.
and it
Totally
depends where
okay
you
with
are,
that.
but honestly, like places like the UK and when I was in Korea, they have such long springs, but here it's like you can have winter weather in May and you don't really get like spring is a couple of weeks
Yes.
and then you're into summer. Like we don't really get
And
a
summer just flies by, right?
yeah. Yeah, and sometimes you get a longer autumn fall season, but sometimes not, so we'll see.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, this is funny. It got down to 12C. Shannon, are you in Ontario? I think you are. With you, Sarah, I'm totally fine with it being warmer. Yeah, just like a little bit, so you can have like Halloween and be, not in the snow. So Kiara currently at work, but since there are no customers at the moment, I'm just spending the time with you guys. Well, thank you. We feel so special.
Where do you work? Is
Kiara, you live in Italy, right? Is that correct?
mm,
Currently reading a Greek fantasy book, 130 pages in. That sounds really cool.
ooh,
I
that's
love
a
Greek
genre that's
anything.
interesting to me.
Charmaine, doing well, thanks. I'm going to read People We Meet on Vacation for a Book of the Month challenge. I may also later switch to a book about taking care of your home. That sounds really
Oh,
nice.
nice.
Have you read People We Meet on Vacation, Laura?
I have not. Have you read it?
Yes, I did. And it's not here for some reason. I don't know why. I don't know where it went to. But I really loved it. I thought it was really good. And I thought it was clever and funny. And yeah.
Yeah, it's been on my list, so I hope that you enjoy it as well, Charmaine, as Sarah did.
I was thrilled to see productivity sprints show up in my feed. Yes, we got you. Kiara, yes, I am from Italy. Thank you so much for
Oh,
remembering. I work in a dress shop. Oh, that's
oh
lovely.
wow. Yeah,
Do you
I love Italy. I got to spend a summer there. I was working at summer camps and kind of traveling around and staying with different families in different parts of Italy and would love to go back. It's such a beautiful country and there's so many different regions and different things to see that you could be there for years and not know everything. So,
where about in Italy were you, Laura?
so I jumped about. I started off outside of Rome. And then I was in Tuscany, so I was in
Hmm,
a small town in Tuscany for a while, and then in Florence for 2 weeks. And then I was in Vasto in a Abruzzo, and then I was in uh back in Tuscany, um, not in Pisa, but in somewhere near around.
okay.
And then I was then I went to Cinque Terre, the and that was gorgeous, but that was just traveling afterwards. So yeah, I jumped around a bit.
You went to
Um,
quite a few
I
places.
went to quite a few places. Yeah, I've also visited Venice before and Rome. Everybody told me while I was there that I had to go to visit Naples.
Hmm.
But then everyone warned me about how dangerous it was there. So they're like, don't go alone. Don't don't go out after dark. So I guess it has a reputation. But it's the same when I was in France. Everyone warned me about Marseille, saying it
Oh.
was dangerous, and I went there and it was fine. But yeah,
Well, that's good that you were
people
okay.
cared. Yeah, I was in good hands. Yeah.
I went to I think Rome and Pompeii and just a bunch of like smaller places. That was during a high school trip, which was awesome because I saw the Lizzie McGuire movie
Oh
and
yes.
she went to Rome and I was like, I need to go to Rome. I need to go there. I need to go to the Trevi Fountain. I need to like flip a coin in and everything. And it was so much like better than what I thought it would be. And I loved Greece as well. We hopped on a ferry and we went to Greece
Ooh.
and went to the Greek islands, and it was just awesome. Like, it
Yeah,
was wonderful.
I would love to go there as well. A lot of the families that I stayed with in Italy would vacation in Greece, and they
Yes.
had pictures, and yeah,
But we didn't
I
get to go to
really
Santorini.
mm,
We could see it, but there was like a storm. So, like, but we were on a schedule, right? So there was a storm. It took way too long. And I was like looking outside, like through like the rain onto Santorini. And I was like, you're part of the reason why I went on this cruise in the first place. And you're so beautiful. But it
I
was so
can't see it. I can't get there.
it was so sad, just out of reach.
Yeah. How much of lockdown and COVID have you spent just thinking about these places? As soon as I can, I'm gonna go here and here and here.
Yep.
Yeah.
As soon as I can, I am going to Portugal and visiting my family there and just having a great time on the islands when it's safe, you know,
Yeah.
when it's safe.
Yeah, I have a long list, and it's not only COVID stopping me. I mean, it's also hard to find the time and opportunity, but
Mhm.
yeah.
Yep.
There's I think it's kind of the boot of Italy called Puglia. I think that's what it's called. That anyway, one of my families that I stayed with when I was in Italy, they were originally from there, and that is on my list as well of places to visit. I'll anyway, we can move on, but maybe during our next break, I'll show you some pictures from Google.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I would love to sort of see all of the beautiful places that you've gone to. So I'm just going to catch up with comments, and then
Yes.
I think it'll be good to start our first sprint. Okay.
Excellent.
So, Kiara, in Italy, it's very hot, so you guys are very welcome to enjoy the nice weather.
Yeah, actually, that's the hottest weather I've ever experienced was when I was in Florence in the summer.
How hot did it get to?
I don't actually remember the temperature, but and it's funny because it got really hot in Korea in the summer too, but everything's air conditioned. But in Italy, nothing is air conditioned. And nothing here is air conditioned either, but we just don't get weather like that. And I just remember it being so hot.
There was a day in Lisbon where it got to I think it was like 40 or something, and I don't like I'm usually 40 degrees Celsius. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit, but
It's just hot to
it's
anyone who doesn't know they can hot. Very hot.
it's very hot. But what we would do is we would stay in the apartment or hotel like during like the hottest part of the day, and then we would like kind of venture out like later in the day or like earlier in the morning, but we had like a little siesta.
Mm.
Charmaine, I visited Rome and Assisi. I'm not sure how to say it. Wish I could have explored more. Yeah, I know. Always. Yes, she sure did.
I was lucky.
Charmaine, I work at a library and it does get stressful at times, but I love it overall. Yes.
Yeah, I can imagine that working in a library could you would have your stressful days.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And also being like open to the public and
Yeah, that's
probably during the pandemic. And I
yeah.
could see that affecting it quite a bit as
Anytime you're
well.
managing a public space, I'm sure there's always stressors.
That's very true. That's very true.
Yeah, you'd just be walking around seeing, always taking in new titles of things you could be reading, but and having to Remember them for later.
Exactly. So, Rob, is air conditioning not standard everywhere? My American is showing. Hi,
Uh,
Rob.
I mean, it could have just been my experience and the people that I was living with, but I have a friend who lives in Spain, and she said that air conditioning isn't that common, and then in the summer, people just slow down their pace of life to accommodate the heat and
Yeah.
yeah,
Thinking
manage it
like,
different ways. I know in Florence, a lot of people would just leave the city in the summer, if they could, and go to coastal areas, and yeah.
I know that in like here, like it can get very cold, like -40, which I'm not sure again what that is in Fahrenheit, but you go outside and your face just turns red and oh, it's so cold, especially if there's like wind as well. So it can get very, very cold. And yeah, some people do sort of go to a warmer climate during the winter time as well here. I just kind of stay and I like the cold
What
for
do
a little
you
bit of time.
for a little bit of time?
For a
What do
little
you
bit of
find?
time.
What would you prefer, extreme heat or extreme cold? I mean, or what is harder? What do you find harder?
For me, extreme hot is way more difficult than extreme cold.
Me
Extreme cold, I
too.
can just, you can have like a fire, you can like change the temperature, you can put on blankets, you can layer, you can do all the nice things. But extreme hot, I don't know, I just kind of sleep.
Yeah, once you're naked, there's nothing you can do. Naked and
Exactly. You
laying in
can't
cold water.
exactly. 104 degrees Fahrenheit. My goodness. Hmm. In Portugal, they have quite a bit of air conditioning, which is nice. Holy, yeah. Hi, John. Just thought I would say hello and good night as I'm going to bed at 3 a.m. in
Late
Australia.
night.
Thank you for joining, and please sleep if you can. Okay, so now, everyone, if you could just get your stuff, get your book, get sort of cozy, I'm going to get everything set up so that we can start our first 30-minute sprint. Okay, and three, two, one, start. Okay, so 30 minutes have elapsed.
Great. I think.
Is there a cat?
Yeah.
Ah.
Came in and I tried to make her look.
Hi, Thrifty.
She's very good about this. I'll let her
Oh, hello.
go because I know she doesn't like it. Here
Oh,
she is.
no. Oh, what a cute pumpkin.
Say hi to Olivia.
Oh, hello. Hello. Oh, you are so gorgeous.
She's pretty smart. Like when you said hello, I don't know. She smiled at my dog. She looked at the at the device when you said that.
Everyone is just like in love with Kitty.
Cat. Yeah, she's my
What?
roommate's cat, and we've always said dogs. But before we had dogs, like I used to play with the neighborhood cats and stuff.
Yeah.
But I was definitely didn't fall into a cat person, but I'm very fond of Billy, so maybe she will change me.
Aw, is her name? Her name is Billy.
Yeah. After Billie Jean.
Cute.
Billie
Oh, that's
Jean.
so cute. Hello. Oh, she's so gorgeous.
Yeah, she's very, very friendly too. Like, she's the only cat that I've met that recognizes her name. Like, I don't know, maybe that is normal, but I just haven't been around a lot of cats. But you call her and she'll run over to you like a dog would. Normally, cats are like,
Olivia's like,
if I,
Olivia's like,
if
where's
I
that cat?
babysit me, but look, friends.
Hello. Hi, friend. Hi, Billy. Olivia's so excited. She just came like right away just to say hi.
Yeah, she's like super, super friendly. Even like when you come in the
Oh.
door of the house, she runs up to greet you, which is very dog-like behavior again.
Some cats are very dog-like. Olivia, when I call her, she comes. When I ask her to sit, she sits. Up, she goes up. But I think the difference is like cats are motivated for their own interest. Dogs are more like, oh my gosh, do you like me? Do you really, really like me? Because I really, really like you.
Yeah.
Cats everywhere. Cute. Yeah. Olivia, it's like right now is kind of her nap time, but she is very interested in making new cat friends. So she's very happy right now that she has made a new cat friend. And Olivia's a little bit
Virtual cat
shy,
friend.
but she's very happy to. You want to say hello? Oh, hi. Oh my gosh, that belly. Cute.
Yeah,
Yes,
so how
cats
did you get on with
everywhere.
your productivity?
Oh yeah, we did stuff.
Oh, her
So
name is Billy.
yes, like you said,
Sorry,
Billie
what did
Jean,
you say,
right?
Sarah? Oh my
Um.
god. Just
Oh my gosh,
all right. Anyway, how was
what a
your productivity?
cutie. My productivity went really well. I made reading lists of like all of my work related readings that I want to get done. Um, and how I want to do them. Typically, like when I do readings and I want to retain information, I actually read through like 3 times. And after I've read something 3 times, then I'm like, okay, now
So
I
what
now I know
kind of
this.
reading do you have to do for your work? Is it like journal or research that you're reading, or is it, I don't know, like case files, or
Ba-
what sort of genre, I guess, of reading are you having to do?
It's just a lot of like oncology sort of reading. I also teach too, so some of that
Oh,
is relevant to it. But yeah, so it's oncology, anatomy, like those sorts of readings that I need to keep up to date with. For those of you who don't know, I'm a pathology scientist, and we do dissections, we help with cancer staging. We do like we help with intraoperative consults. So if the patient is being operated on, we get a little sample. We try to help the pathologist figure out like what type of cancer the patient has, if they have cancer, and then that sort of like feedbacks into how the surgeon should proceed with the procedure. And then I also do like autopsy and yeah.
I didn't realize you taught as well. That's so interesting.
Yeah, we teach medical residents, nursing students, pathology scientists in the making, um, and yeah, we do a lot of teaching. Uh, okay, Shannon, productivity. I finished updating my Goodreads and spreadsheet and also put laundry up to dry and got the dishes away. Just regular chores. We'll work on Project E stuff in the next round. That's awesome.
Nice. Yeah, you have to get that stuff out of the way before you can get to your friend project stuff because I'm not a I guess traditionally I haven't been that on top of things.
Uh
I am better now because I found some sort of methods that work for me. But I am the worst for just avoiding tasks like putting the laundry away, doing the dishes, because my brain it would just say, no, I can't do anything until I get this top priority task done. And then it just,
Yes.
everything falls by the wayside. And that is not the way to go. I have tested it out. And yes.
If anyone has any tips for getting on top of laundry, I would love to know them because I cannot stand laundry. My laundry piles all the time. I thought it would be easier once there was like a laundry like washer and dryer in the apartment, but I think I'm just lazy when it comes to laundry.
You
I
know
have
what?
no desire to do it. It takes forever. You have to wash it. You have to collect it. You have to separate it. You have to put it in. You have to wash it. Then you have to take the wet and then put it in the dryer. And then you also have to fold it. And then you have to sort it again and put it away. Like, what is that? That's like, it's a never ending task. And I can't stand
Yeah,
it.
you
So,
know
how
what?
do
I
I
I am with
deal with
you.
it?
Laundry is my least favorite of the chores, and I just
Mhm.
avoid doing it when I can. But what has helped me is um just certain situations, like when I was in Korea, for example, and I only had brought one suitcase over there. Laundry is
Uh,
easier to handle, and I did the same thing when I came here. I just don't have as many clothes. It is still not a fun chore though, but
yeah. Yeah, I know.
having fewer clothes helps.
I think having fewer clothes does help, and purging, like not purging, but like I collect, and every season I usually like try and Marie Kondo things, not to that extent, but like all the things that I do not need. I still need things that don't necessarily give me joy. So I keep them. Like, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
But
the
like
method only goes so far.
the method only goes so far, right? Like, I don't know. What's the thing that I need that I don't? I don't even know. Like, there are things that I have.
I'm sure
And
your like kitchen spatula doesn't give you joy, but
yeah, it doesn't really give me
sort of a
joy, but using it will help me get like a slice of pie out of the, so
and that
there
will
is
bring
some
bring
joy,
you joy.
that would bring you joy, right? But downsizing and doing that, if you live in a small space, you kind of have to exist in a small space. Otherwise, you become smaller in your space and everything gets like crowded around you, and it's
And you
too
know what?
much.
Putting away, and I never did this. I always had my clothes out throughout the whole year, but putting away like your summer clothes in the winter and kind of having seasonal wardrobe that kind of helps with laundry and stuff. And
Yeah.
organization.
Yeah.
Um,
Yes. It's nice to have the clear the decks chores to start things off. Yeah, I do that. If ever I want to be productive, I do tiny little tasks and then I get to the bigger task.
and gives you a feeling of accomplishment because if you have a to-do list and the first four tasks take you like 10 minutes each to do, then you've already checked four things off and you just, you're on a roll and it's
Yeah.
easier to get to the harder things. Yeah,
Yeah, and you can slowly wake up to it too.
exactly.
Charmaine said, Shannon, wow, all that in 30 minutes. Nice work.
I know. I was gonna say I literally only went through my emails. I don't get that many emails even, so I'm impressed.
Shannon is like an all-star. Yeah, the dishes. I actually okay. I don't mind the dishes as much, but it's because every day I am on it. Like totally on it. So in the morning, I check like what needs to be in the dishwasher versus not, and for some reason I'm totally okay with doing that because it only takes me like 5 minutes to do because I keep with it. I guess that can apply to laundry.
It depends to your situation. Like it's so much dishes are so much easier when you're doing dishes only for yourself. If you're, you have a family of four, dishes get overwhelming very quickly. But
They
if
pile
it's
up.
just you producing the dirty dishes and doing them, it's much easier to handle.
Yeah. Kristen, I do one load of towels and clothes during the week and one load of each again on the weekend. That's
Hmm.
smart to do. That is very
Kristen
smart to
strikes me as someone
do.
who's on top of her laundry.
Yeah, me too. I just have that feel. I just have that
Yeah.
feel too.
She just has that look about her.
Kiara, Sarah, that's amazing and so interesting. Yeah, it's pretty cool stuff. Thanks. Yeah, this stuff is all like super fun. So I like to spend my time doing like fun things, but sometimes work has to creep in at home a little bit. But typically, yeah. I don't know. Do you find that too, Laura? Like the YouTube stuff and everything. That's just like fun.
Yeah, it is fun. I enjoy doing it. For me, it's more I've been sort of like unstable the last few months because I've been moving around different places and
Oh, of
that I
course.
find interrupts the YouTube stuff a lot. And also I find it really hard when you don't have privacy because I'm so
Mm,
self-conscious speaking to a camera in front of people. So like living here with my roommates, it's harder. And even like being home with my family was harder than when I was just with my boyfriend and I didn't really care if you was in the next room listening. Um,
yeah.
so yeah, that sort of stalls me, but I'm hoping to get on to back contributing regularly to YouTube. But yes, it's not. It doesn't feel like a chore.
Yeah, yeah. And yeah, of course when you're moving, it's so difficult to do things and I totally understand um I usually will have my headphones on. My partner will have his headphones on. And so we don't hear what each other are doing and I can kind of wall myself off a little bit, right? But if there were more people, it would definitely be more challenging.
Yeah, and just now
Yeah.
too, with so many people working from home, it's not like you're living with people and they're gone for most of the day. You're living with people and we're all, even when I was with them back with my family, like we were all just around for the whole day.
Yeah, exactly. Washing dishes is my least favorite. Yeah. Yeah, I don't like washing. I just stick them in the dishwasher, and that tends to help. Yes, capsule wardrobe for laundry,
Yeah.
smart. Yeah, minimalist closet is really good. And then too, if you have like a couple of like go-to outfits, I'm sure people at work are very sick of me wearing the same things, or they probably don't even care. And I
Yeah.
just get to wear my outfits, and I wear a gown anyway, so.
Yeah, I will wear just starting. a couple years ago, I would wear outfits 2 days in a row. Because why not? I mean, I realized like this is so clean. I mean, sometimes I don't because I don't always keep my clothes clean throughout the day. But like if they are still clean, I just realized one day I was like, I'm just gonna wear this again. And that's what you should do
Yeah,
your laundry too. I don't know,
exactly.
that's not for everyone though, and I'm not always seeing the same people every day, so
Yeah.
nobody notices.
I'd rather clean bathrooms. For me, they're equal. Like, honestly.
For me, the very bottom is the laundry, but everyone has their least favorite chore.
Ooh, I found the Secret Slav on YouTube, and she has a 25-minute cleanup timer routine that was a game changer. That's
That's so
cool.
cool, and I'm going to look that up purely because I really enjoy the channel name, The Secret Slav, because I find a lot of people who do organization productivity content are just naturally very like people who enjoy being organized and people who have always been organized. And I'm like,
Yeah,
I don't relate to you very well. I need the Secret Slav. I need someone who pulled their socks up to
yeah,
to um, to be able to relate. And
yeah.
yeah,
With a name like that, I'm sure that timer gets played quite often. Shannon, I really like having all the dishes clean, so that's your motivation. My motivation should be having like clean clothes, but even then, Isa, I just joined mid sprint. The cat pictures had me. I'm updating my reading journal and listening to an audiobook.
that is
That,
like my favorite way to spend time. I wish
yeah.
I were doing that right now.
So I'm just going to catch up to a few more comments and then we'll start our next sprint.
Sounds great.
Kiara, don't have any tips. I can't stand it as well. So my husband is in charge. Yeah. My partner typically will have to help me with that task too. Laura, thanks for mentioning the seasonal wardrobe. It's a great tip. It's about time for me to put up the summer clothes. Yeah, yeah, totally. Just take your summer clothes and sort of like stack them away and
It's also great if you have clothes that are nice, but that you're like sometimes you end up with things that you like and you're nice and they're nice, but you don't have time to wear everything and you don't want to throw it out. But I will pack it away and like for this fall, this is my fall. These are my fall clothes. These are
yeah,
my this is my autumn wardrobe. And then if something wears out, I will have something in storage that I can replace it with.
I like doing that as well. It really helps. Okay, and then final comment before we start our next sprint. Charmaine, my husband does the dishes since I hate it, and I do
Oh,
laundry. I think that's a good combination.
nice domestic situation there. You need a partner that like the opposite chores from you.
Yes, exactly. I'm very happy that my partner likes to take out the garbage. That makes me very happy. Okay, everyone. So if you can get your stuff, I am in a pickle because Olivia has just fallen asleep on my lap. So I think I'm going to do like some fun reading right now and then get back into productivity because she
Really?
dictates everything I do. Like you can't even, she's just so happy.
Oh, she's sound asleep.
Okay. All right, everyone. Ready? Three, two, one, and start.
How did you get along?
Oh, I did okay. I read about 22 pages of my book, which is nice. So currently I decided to take a break from being productive to a different kind of productive, and I read about 23 pages of The Witch Haven. So this is a
Beautiful cover.
ah, it's so beautiful. I love the moon and just like the lettering and everything. I didn't really know very much going into it, but the synopsis, it tells you this. Like, there is a young woman, and I think she's a seamstress. And so one day she gets attacked and she blacks out, and then she realizes that she has just um, killed a man. She's holding, scissors. The man is down on the floor. And it kind of goes from there. I think what will happen from the synopsis is that she's going to go to a witch school. I think at first they say that she's going off to like a sanatorium, and then they'll say that she's going off to a witch school. So it's actually like really intriguing so far. I'm just at the point where she's trying to figure out exactly how she's going to proceed after finding this man on the floor. So that's just 23 pages in. And she's also mourning the death of her brother. So it's pretty spooky so far. I like it.
Yeah,
How did
it
yours
sounds
go?
intriguing. I love anything with like a boarding school trope. I
Yeah,
That always works so well.
right? Yeah, it's so
Yeah.
cool. How did you go? Or how 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 did it go for you?
Good. So I finished off doing things with emails and stuff, and then I want to make it's my birthday on Tuesday. So I wanted to
Ooh.
like make a video where I chose a book for every year that I was living. But then and obviously I'm turning 27, so that's a lot of books. So I can't spend much time talking about any of them. But then I got into like, oh, what criteria should I use to choose the books? And I've been just working on that list of 27 books. So it's kind of hard. I don't know what to include. I don't know if I should do like choose a book that I read each year because I don't remember the first number of years what I would have read and enjoyed. I don't know if I should do just 27 random books that I liked or like,
Yes.
yeah, I don't know if they should have some sort of like, I'm overthinking it. So yeah, that's what I did for the rest of the time.
So first of all, happy early
Thank
birthday.
you. Not for
That
another
is
3 days
so
though. Yeah,
that
thank
is so
you.
exciting. I think I mean, you could technically ask your parents what books they read to you when you
Yeah,
were very little, if they remember. Um, yeah.
yeah, I texted my mom to ask. I said, what books did I like? Picture books did I like growing up? And she was like, I don't know, you seem to like all the picture books we read. So yeah, I'll have to push her for more details. Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, I think
Um,
it'd be fun to do one that I actually read each year. Because I
I
think I
think
could
that
figure
would
that
be
out.
cool. I think that
Yeah.
would be cool. And it would be kind of cute to hear like what your like parents said about the books that they read to you and how like enthusiastic you were like reading like at a young age. That would be cool. Okay, so Heather, oh thank goodness there's a sprint happening. I've been nodding off while reading even though the book is great. I want to read as much as I can before work tonight. Yeah, and Laura, you had mentioned this that sometimes like you'll nod off while reading too. That can definitely help happen with me certain times of the day. Sunday, for whatever reason, there's just this 1 hour that if I can get through it, I'm good. But I have a
Yeah.
tendency to fall asleep.
I definitely think the 30-minute kind of increments really works for me anyway, for reading in particular. Um, there's just something
Yes.
about like breaking it up a little bit, or some people read like I'm going to read 10 pages and then I'll take a break, but that doesn't work for me because sometimes 10 pages will go really slowly and then the next 10 pages will be really quick depending on like what's
Yes.
happening in the plot or how much, because I've often go back and like have to reread passages, or like a character comes up and I'm flipping back in the book to try to like figure out who they are. So yeah, so I prefer doing it by time if we're doing here.
Yes. Yes. I think that helps. Uh, Shannon said 27 random books sounds like such a fun idea. Agreed. And Charmaine, have a happy upcoming birthday, Laura. Do you have
Thank you.
anything do you have anything planned?
Well, so I just moved to Ottawa, and so I don't know very many people, but I was very lucky when I came here and like landed amongst some really nice people. So I have two roommates, and then a friend who I made, it's just the wind, and a friend who I made through school. So we'll probably get together and just have some cake or something.
That
Yeah,
sounds
I'm not a
good.
huge. I share my birthday with my mom actually, so she has the same birthday as me. So I'll have to call her. So we usually
She
do
has the
something
same?
together. Yeah, I was born on her birthday.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I think I'm also. I was it one of the other reading sprints we were talking about Ariel Bissett and how she moved to Nova Scotia and how I was. I also creepily know that we have the same birthday, like day and year. Or she might be one day before. I can't remember, but I
Oh,
remember
really?
her saying on her channel before as well, like day and year. Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
wow, that's amazing. You're just
yeah.
totally
But my mom and I have the same birthday.
Yeah, that's so cool. I'm actually 2 days apart from my father.
Oh, nice. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, which makes it really, really, really fun every year. There's 2 celebrations, like, really close together.
yeah. It's fun, especially when it's sort of like if it's a sibling, it's not as fun because you know you. But if like your mom's friends and your friends are all coming, it's kind of nice to have like an intergenerational kind of celebration sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So Shannon, she times her reading all the time. Yeah, I like to. I like to. That way I don't get that way you don't get like too stuck in for too long. If I kind of don't time it in a way, then sometimes I do like kind of get tired.
Well, and also just sitting for that long, like it's nice to have 30 minutes and then to get up and move around a little bit and another 30 minutes. I will say though, if I'm in a spot where I'm like, oh yeah, this is moving, and I get to the end of the third minute, 30 minutes or whatever, and I'm really like, I will ride the wave of if I have a flow, I will ride that as
Same.
far as I can go because it doesn't happen as often as I'd like.
Same, same. Sometimes it happens. Just certain parts of books too, like during the middle, it can sort of pick up. It can.
Yeah,
It can.
yeah,
If they do it well.
yeah.
So Percy, I guess it's kind of like studying for school. They say you should study for like 20 to 40 minutes, then take a break and then go again. Yeah, because I know with at least with lectures, they say that you pay the most attention to a lecture in like the first like 5 to 10 minutes or something like that, and then the last like 5 to 10, like maybe like 5 minutes or whatever. But like in the middle, it can kind of you can like lose your attention for it.
Yeah, I've heard that the maximum attention span, and that's not like you said, like the first 10 minutes is like you're very focused, but the maximum attention span of like the best people, the people who are best at concentrating is 45 minutes. So if you're,
45.
yeah, and then after that it becomes more productive to take a break and come back to it. Then you're going to be working more efficiently. That's what I've heard.
Yeah, yeah.
But for kids and teenagers, it's less than 45 minutes.
Yeah, or me.
Or
um,
yeah, or some adults.
any longer and you don't really retain any information, or in the case of reading for fun, you fall asleep. Yes.
Yeah, I've heard those 40-minute intervals referred to as pomodoros.
Yeah, I've heard of that as well. Yeah.
I don't
And
know.
yeah, and that's a method that I like use for like big exams or like a big chunk of like med. I would do like the Pomodoro method and just like study really hard for a certain amount of time and then take a 10-minute break, because like literally every single day it was studying, like just studying for hours and hours and hours. That's the only thing that kind of kept me a little bit sane. Not
Well,
that sane, but
the thing about studying or being in it, other jobs, there are parameters to the jobs, like a lot of
yeah.
jobs, it's when you get there, you do your work, and then the end of the day, you go home, and that's your off time. Some jobs aren't like that. Like teaching's not quite
Yeah.
like that. But studying sort of permeates into everything. So like it takes away the structure of your week, because you still need to be studying on the weekend. You feel like you still need to be
Yeah.
you don't have any scheduled off time. You have to schedule that in for yourself. So that can
Right.
make it tough.
Right. Can make it feel constant. Heather, I think one book per publication year from birth to now would be really cool.
Oh,
That could be a good one too.
I
Then you
never
wouldn't have to
thought of that.
determine
Because
when you
the thing is,
read.
if I do like books that I read, like more than half of them are going to be children's books, and I don't, I, so I was that's why I was thinking just, maybe 30 random books or 30 books I liked. But I really like that by publication year. Though I
I
don't
think that'd
read
be
a
great.
ton of new releases, so that might be kind of difficult. The last 10
um,
years might be a struggle to find titles.
Yeah, yeah. Or maybe if you like can't really find a title, then maybe one that you would like to read if there is no book for that year that you can find that you've read.
Yeah, that is a good idea. Because the thing is, I
Mhm.
find you start repeat if you have favorites, there's a lot of sort of favorites videos, and I find I'm repeating the same titles over and over again because I don't read that like much. I mean, I read more than most people, but not that much compared to most booktubers. So yeah, it was hard to come up with 27 books that I hadn't already talked a lot about on the channel. So yeah, that would be
Yeah,
a good idea.
I think that's a great idea. Thrifty, 22 pages of a dead Jin in Cairo. Cool. That's really good that you read 22 pages. That's awesome
That's
and
great.
so
Yeah,
productive.
are you how's your reading speed, Sarah? I'm a pretty slow reader. Like I
I'm a slow
wouldn't get
reader.
through 22 pages, I don't think.
I got through about 23 of the one that I was just reading, but generally, like, I am a very slow reader. It takes me usually more than like a minute per page, but it really depends on the book. So, like, books that have, let's see, what's one? So, like, this book, like the words are pretty spaced out and it doesn't feel dense, but like there are some books where like there's just so many like words per page and it kind of overwhelms me. Like our top shelf pick, The Chosen and the Beautiful, it looks like it's very small, and there are about three, no, not even. It says 260 pages or so. But I find that the there's just so many like words on it, and like there's just, I mean, it looks the same as the other book really when I put it up, but there's just
Well,
so many like words on it that it, and the pages are thin, that it felt like it was a like a longer book than it was. So it really depends like how, but it'll take me like, even at my fastest, like I don't really read books in one sitting. Like that
I've
almost
never done that
never.
before, I don't think. Yeah,
Only
and
like graphic
it's not even,
novels.
can also depend. The layout of the book makes a big difference for me. Like certain layouts I
Yeah.
find easier to read than others, but
Yeah.
also just the pacing of the story and what kind. If is it a modern book, it goes faster than if I'm trying to read a classic. So there's
Yes.
lots of factors. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. And then sometimes too, um sometimes I don't even want to read quickly. Do you know what I mean? Like sometimes I just kind of want to sit with the story and not just like read through the book quickly just so that I can have it done. But then there are other times where like I want to complete the book because it provides a certain value. Like for instance, I want to like learn about a topic, or I want to do a nonfiction topic. Like I want to read this one soon, like The Skin We're In.
That's been on my list for so long. My boyfriend read it and
Mhm.
he really, like he said, it was really powerful. So,
So this is a book that I really want to read, you know, absorb and sort of, I'm reading this for like information, understanding, awareness, etc. This book I'm reading for like um just for this, like for the story, right? So depends what I want to extract from a book. And then of course, like for our bookshelf books, like I want to get it done and, you know, have it done like a little bit early so then I can go back and sort of remember like what I've read. But if I don't read the book like early, then I get very anxious that I'll never finish the book before the live, and
I have
I
to admit,
have
I am
to.
not on top of The Chosen the Beautiful right now. It's going to be a scramble, but I've never not finished a book for book club before. So,
Yeah.
but I'm pushing, really pushing it this month.
That's okay. And our, I'll just say for those who don't know, our bookshelf is the Top Shelf Society. And our September book is The Chosen and the Beautiful. And the author is going to join us. I believe that is October the 1st that is going to happen. And then our October book is the, ooh, this is shiny here. Let's see, The Inheritance of Orchidea Divina. And the author, Zoraida Cordova, she is actually going to be joining us as well. In,
Oh.
yeah, so I think that will be the last Friday of the month of October. So I'm very excited about this one. This is one of my most anticipated books of the entire year. And I won't give too much about The Chosen and the Beautiful, but I will say I enjoyed this one more than I enjoyed The Great Gatsby. So very, very excited that the authors are going to join us for these books.
Yeah, that will be fun. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's definitely something. When I started my booktube channel, was able to read a lot more. I got a lot of reading done, but there were some books that I really just pushed through to get finished for the channel.
Mm-hmm.
And I find I don't remember books that I read that way.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and there's definitely books that you read over 3 or 4 days. Those characters and plots only sat with you for 3 or 4 days. Whereas if you read a book over like a longer period of time and you're not forcing your way through it, it definitely sticks with you in a way
Yes. Yeah.
that it doesn't otherwise. Yeah.
Two of my favorites, A Little Life and Great Expectations, took me both a long time to read, like weeks, but I loved reading them so much. Like, I didn't care that it took me forever to get them done, but I loved
I
it.
think, yeah, I read Great Expectations this year as well, as you know, and then I also really enjoyed it. And I think enjoying cla large classics like that, I think you don't enjoy them unless you take them slowly. Um,
Yeah.
I think you almost need to, and I also read that over like 6 weeks or something, or even longer. I can't remember, but
Yeah,
yeah,
definitely. Okay, I'm
that's
just gonna
why that's why English classes make people hate certain books.
yeah, for sure. What's the one
So
I oh my gosh. Yeah.
it's so
Um,
hard reading to someone else's schedule, I guess.
I think so. I think so. Yeah.
Fiction, anyway.
Yeah, Pomodoro method does work well. It's important to take breaks, for sure. It's amazing how much variance there can be in reading speed. I track it, but I try not to get judgy on how fast or slow I read. I consider it useful planning info for what to expect. Oh yeah, for sure. To have an
Yeah.
idea of like maybe like how long it will take you to read a book. If you want to like get through a certain amount of books in an amount of time, then that is a good gauge. But then still having that flexibility and like forgiveness with yourself too. Yeah. Like if something takes me a while to read, I'm okay with it most of the time. Shannon, my reading speed for classics is so slow, but it can pick up the longer I stick with it.
Yes,
Yeah,
that is
yeah,
so
yeah.
true. Because I
There's
just
so
finished
many.
Wuthering Heights, and that was my experience. Like, it was, but it's almost like you get into the language and your brain learns to know what to expect
Yeah,
and to like be able to kind of anticipate the phrases. And yeah, it just gets so much easier as you go through. Yeah.
yeah, definitely. Give myself a I give myself a generous amount of time for buddy reads. I do not like racing to the finish, so I really work on pacing myself now. I think that it is really good to pace yourself and make sure that, you are taking something away from the book at the
I
end
think
of
this
it.
sort of applies to everything because when and I don't really think it was completely my fault, but I just think sometimes the way that school and university is structured over such a condensed like 6 or 8 weeks, it
Mhm.
it's I operated for so many years on like, oh my God, what needs to be done for tomorrow? And then if it was a 2,000 word
Mhm.
essay, that was getting done today because
Yeah, yeah.
and everything goes so much smoother and you do a better job and hate it less if you
Yeah.
spread it out over like uh, a week or a longer period of time. I'm just catching
Yeah.
on to that. I'm just getting into a place where I'm organized enough to spread tasks out like that. So
I think that is helpful. I never learned, like, in all my years, um, how to actually spread out an essay over time. All of my essays, literally almost all of my essays, were frantic, last minute. Like, I remember there was one assignment. It was kind of like a half essay. It was for proteins or something like that, biochemistry, and we had to have this exam. But it was like half essays and like half other work and like that sort of thing. And I remember like not touching it until the day before, frantically writing it and doing all the things. And literally, it was due at 12 o'clock, and 11:58. I'm like, here you go. And then she's like, thank you. I would not have taken this if it was like 12:01. And I was like, oh my gosh. I think I just like collapsed afterwards. And I wish that like I had learned, especially in my undergrad years, like how to not put that stress on yourself.
Well, to
It's
be
a
fair
lot.
on you, I wish I had learned it too, but I don't think the world is set up to accommodate. Like, I think it's set up to like to lead to kids or young adults having to cram like that. So
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And there was like a whole slew of other things that I needed to get done at the same time.
there's
So,
just juggling so many things. Yeah.
yes, Shannon, it sure is. And the October pick is The Inheritance of Orquídea Divina by Zoraida Cordova. Thanks for mentioning that, Shannon.
That's
No
great though.
worries. 50. Yes, it definitely varies. I think this is the reading speed. My self help books can take a long time to read. I have to annotate and take notes, so it goes slowly. Oh, yeah, for sure. But you're extracting so much, so it's like so much value from that.
I find self-help books though, like because you can always relate it back to yourself. It is slower, but it's never like you never get bored,
E-
because you're always anything you can relate to yourself. It's hard to get bored with that.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think it's the reflection and processing and all of that sort of thing. So, Heather, I know my fiction times 23 pages per hour worst, 33 pages per hour average, and 50 pages per hour fastest. Wow. Oh my gosh, you have notes. Gra-
Heather, you must be a numbers person.
oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Graphic novels are super fast, one sitting books, so I don't time them. Textbooks were like 12 pages an hour. Yeah, textbooks are they're a little difficult. There's a lot of text. Those pages are big. There's lots of text.
And you know what? I always struggled to do course readings like at all. And that's one thing that I'm finding if I can do, if I have 3 hours of reading to do for a course, if I can do that over 3 days instead of one day, it's just so much better.
Yeah,
Um, yeah.
definitely. Never had time to study because it took the whole time to read the text. Yes. You know, when I was in oh my gosh. I think when I first started university, I read the text a lot. Um, then when I kind of got towards like later years, I used the text to supplement the notes, if that makes sense. So like my study materials were always the notes, and then the textbooks just kind of filled in um, any gaps in understanding. Um, it depends on the course, though, I think.
Yeah, it depends. It's so different for science-based things versus like an English course or something as well.
You
But
kind of have to read.
yeah,
Yeah.
but if you can use the notes to guide like because sometimes there's so much reading and you don't know which parts of it are relevant. And if you can use the
Yeah.
notes to guide you to like, okay, these are the topics that we're focusing on, and it helps sort of make the reading more manageable.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. Heather, if there were study guides, I would just fill them in and memorize them walking to class. I can memorize quick, so I was an A student, but I'd purge the info like an hour after the test. You know what? I feel that. I understand. Yeah.
Yeah, I and being like for me, I could memorize things, and also I was pretty good at taking multiple choice tests because I could tell like if there was a little hint in the sometimes there's a hint in the language or of the sentence that helps you determine and eliminate options. And yeah, it meant I didn't actually learn a lot of the stuff even though I scored well on the tests.
I think that what I started to do with multiple choice questions, which I don't like multiple choice questions. I like writing, like so. As science, everything is multiple choice, so um, it's not my preferred method. But what I started to do just to make sure that I like understood the information was I would read the question, like block off all the answers and then try to come with the answer in my mind.
Hmm.
And then that just helped me focus because everything else just kind of would look like, oh, this could be possibly right, or like this could be, or this could, and then I just do that and I'm like, no, there's like one answer. I need to think of this answer and it's there. Pick it.
That would be the way to do it to force you to actually know your stuff. Because sometimes you can figure it out through process of elimination without actually knowing your stuff. But yeah,
Yes, but
it's
that's
so
a
easy
good
to get distracted.
strategy. Process
Yeah,
of elimination,
strategy.
I think, is a very good strategy in case the answer never comes to
It
you.
never comes to you.
Heather, I learned my reading times by reading in hour chunks. Then I'd use that to figure out how long it would take to finish the book. So if I had a TBR, the math would tell me what I could actually finish in time. I like that. It like helps
That
your
is a
goals.
feature. I don't know if you have a Kobo. I have a Kobo and I broke it, and now I just use the Kobo app on my tablet, and that calculates how fast you've been reading the book and uses it to estimate how much time it will take you to finish the book. And that is a feature that I really enjoy of the Kobo app.
Huh. I like that. I like that. Does it still do it on the app?
Yeah, I think so. I'll double check, but yeah.
I'm sure it probably does. Okay, I'm just gonna catch up with these two. I read so slow, I'd be scared to know how much pages per time. Um, yeah, and I think that there are other ways that you can determine it. I remember I remember doing it myself. I like Googled like how fast do I read? Like what is my reading time? And then I remember looking at it and being like discouraged because I'm like, it will take me forever to read anything. But now I know, and I try to defy like that label all the time and say like, I try not to let it like define how quick I read. I just try to read.
Yeah, if if I focus on that sort of thing, it would also stress me out. So I tend to just focus on, the story and what's gonna happen next instead.
Yes.
How quick, yeah, how slow am I reading?
Always feels like a game of Switch. Exams would be mostly things we never covered. Yeah, it's cool that people time their reading to have some knowledge of that. Heather, yes, on multiple choice, but I hated true false. When the wording wasn't just right, I'd pick one, then write a paragraph on why the question was faulty and how both were right, depending in how it's interpreted. That's
That's
hilarious.
so true. True and false are the worst. And I am with you on every part of that comment.
I like fill in the blanks.
Oh yeah, with a word
I,
bank.
I like yeah, I like fill in the blanks. Those are great. Those are great. Okay, and Shannon, that's great that the Kobo app has that feature. The Kindle ETA is always wrong, wrong, wrong.
Yeah, I feel
Ah.
like the Kobo is often wrong, but that I think sometimes like I'll leave it open and go do something else and it thinks I'm still reading. Um,
That's
yeah,
hilarious.
the Kindle's not actually, the feature's not always that accurate either.
Heather, word bank love. Yes. Okay. So Laura, I have a question. Would you like to do maybe like a quick break and then a reading sprint? I just want to get a couple of things like just replenish my coffee, eat a little bit, and then do that. So, do you want
Or
to have like maybe a 5 or 10 minute break?
Works for me. Sounds great.
Okay. How long?
Oh,
I'm just
actually,
gonna.
one other thing. I made the mistake of I have you open on the device where I do my reading, where I my tablet. So I might join on my computer on my phone. And so could you look to let me in after the break?
Oh yeah, sure.
Like I'll stay on this and I won't leave here until you let me in on another device. But I didn't think that through, I guess.
Sure. So I'm going to say at the top of the hour, right now it's 12:49 p.m. here, so it'll be, for instance, 1 p.m. Um, that'll be around the time that I start the reading sprint. We'll do a quick chat, and then yeah,
So
does that sound good?
yeah, so what how many minutes? Sorry, I
So that's just like a 10-minute break.
10 minutes. Okay, that's what I thought. So that'll be 3 o'clock here. Or yeah, 3 o'clock here.
Okay. Okay, so I'll see you guys in about 10 minutes. Okay. Oh, Charmaine has gone. Bye, Charmaine. Thanks for joining. But I'm sure you're gone by now. Okay. Let me see. Hey,
Good.
all good?
Yeah, now I can read.
Okay. So if everyone wants to get their stuff ready, I'm going to start the actual reading sprint now that we've had our break. All right, 3, 2, 1, and start. Good luck. Okay. How did it go? I'm sorry, Laura.
Sorry, my mic's not on, is it? Yeah.
It's on now. Good.
No, I said I did the list of books by publication year,
Mhm.
and it was actually easy to find a book that I had actually read from each year. And
That's amazing.
yeah, so I was surprised at that. And I found a feature on Goodreads where you can put the publication year and then organize all your books by publication year. And so it made it easy. And
Ah,
it's just so interesting to me learning because I never know the publication year, the year of publication that so I didn't know how many kind of books I was reading from from this decade, and some books, my idea of when they were published gets skewed by when I heard them talked about on booktube, because often you hear books talked about on booktube soon after they're released, but then other
yeah.
books just sort of become trendy like 10 years after they were released or more than that, and in my head I
Yeah.
just assume that they are new releases as well, and then looking through the list and seeing like, oh my god, that was released in 1996 and everyone was talking about it 3 years ago. So yeah, it kind of throws you off of it. So it's a good exercise. It also exposed me to lots of books on my to read list that I had forgotten about, so it's good.
Oh, that's so awesome. And yeah, that's really handy to have it listed because there's probably like so many books that, you know, completely unaware like came out in like 2000 or 2002, and who knows when else, right? Sometimes,
Yeah.
yeah, you do have a vague idea of like when they came out, but sometimes you're shocked. Like I thought the book 1984, like
Came out in
initially, like yeah, or like it came out, but didn't it come out in like the
1948. It's a
'48?
switch the numbers, not 84, 48. Yeah.
Oh yeah, they did. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. And then
What
it just
year do you
mhm.
think the first Harry Potter book came out in?
Is that 1997?
You got it. Yeah.
I remember we had it read to us by like our elementary school teacher, like
Oh.
around that time, or no, the librarian, school librarian at the time, and I was just like, I don't know about this book, like, and then I just kind of like dozed off, and then like later on when it started to get like popular, right? That's around the time where I started the first one, and then yeah, the rest is history.
Yeah, I think I got the first one in my Christmas stocking when I was like 6 or something, and my parents read them to us, and yeah, my sister and I were very into Harry Potter.
Yes. Shannon, perfect timing. Ready for a great, I think maybe break? Check out the green and organize all my plant pots and vases. Now it's time for a coffee. Nice.
Nice, well-earned
Gosh,
coffee.
you're so productive, Shannon. That's amazing. That's totally amazing. 50, 25% more red. Oh my gosh. Look at you. 25% more red. That's amazing. And yeah, the 84-48 switch, that is really cool. I love that. You've read the book, right?
Yeah.
I've half read the book once and fully read the book once.
What did you think?
I thought I don't know how to put it. It was way more abstract than I thought it was going to be. Like I found it difficult to sort of understand what was happening in 1984, but I used Spark Notes to sort of like gained whatever I could from it. And I can appreciate how 1984 has just framed so many like perspectives, like um and so much terminology that we use, like doublethink and like other amazing like insights within the book. I wish I could read it and kind of um, absorb it as well, like as I did with like Fahrenheit 451 or something like that, you know. But it was just a little too abstract, but I appreciate it a lot.
Yeah, see, I read it like probably before I was ready for it when I went through a stage of like, I want to read big adult books. So I think I read it when I was like 15 or something. But it's, and so I'm sure so much went over my head. So I'll have to reread it, but like I remember so much of that book, even though I read it more than 10 years ago. Like I remember
Wow.
Winston and Julia, and I remember the scene with the rats at the end very like strongly. So I don't know. And I
Oh,
remember the like
wow.
passage talking about like the prostitutes and makeup and like um yeah, I just it's strange that it's stuck in my memory so clearly.
Vividly and like clearly.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
amazing though. Um, Sometimes certain books just have that effect and we end up remembering so much from them like later on. Whereas my for me, 1984 is just kind of like a nice blurry like painting where the trees are sort of out of focus and the everything is sort of off
Yeah.
a little bit. Thrifty, how did you like Then She Disappeared by Lisa Jewell? So I've read Then She Was Gone. I really loved that one. And um, the one that I was reading, oh, please don't fall books, um, was The Night She Disappeared. So this one, I loved this one so much. It's probably one of my favorite books of the year and one of my favorite mystery thrillers that I've read in like several years. So love this one so much. It was so good. Um, and there are these characters that I just really love in this book. Um, yeah, I think that is really good. I think that is really good to read, probably like in the October months because there is a really freaky like house and like like an underground like cave and just all of those sort of like spooky things. And like I loved it.
Just adding it to my to read list here. Because I
Yeah,
have Goodreads open anyway, so there we go.
this is definitely like 5 stars. Like really good. And Then She Was Gone also, I think I gave probably 4 or 5 stars, but this one is like definitely 5 stars. So good. Yeah, creepy houses are always good. Yeah, this creepy house, it's not like a haunted house story, but there is like just a creepy like house that is like a super big like mansion and just stuff happens there, which is cool. I got some of my readings done, which is really good. So
Nice.
usually when I do like my readings, like I said, I do them like probably 3 times for like work related kind of reading. And the first time that I read it, it's just very quickly, like just to sort of get like an overall perspective about like what I have to know and like what to expect and that sort of thing. And then the second time, like I read it like slowly, and then the third, I sort of like just like layer it and like annotate and like do that kind of stuff. So yeah,
Yeah, I think a
so
lot of
it's
people don't think about that first reading, but it's kind of
mhm,
useful to see the layout of what I don't know
yeah,
whatever your reading looks like, but you know, if there are different sections with subtitles or like
yeah.
figures, it's kind of nice to sort of see the layout of what you're going to be reading before you get into it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It's just to sort of remember, okay, so this is what this is about, and Yeah, I know everything that like I'm reading about, so the first read for me is just like almost like making a mental outline in my mind. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with myself if I don't like remember everything that I read because it's not for that purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Olivia looks happy there.
Oh yeah, she is. I think she is snooping for something, but like here's her tail. She has this the longest tail. It's so cute. Then she was gone and the family upstairs were 5 stars. Okay, so those are two other books written by Lisa Jewell. And yeah, I definitely agree. Um, she's just great. She's just really awesome. And she writes really compelling work. I haven't read The Family Upstairs, though, not yet. But I will at some point. Shannon, is she purring? I feel like I can hear purring. I think she is a little bit. Like, Olivia is a very, like she's always like you can probably tell by now, like she's always by my side. Like when I'm at home, she's just like I don't even know when she sat down or all of that. Like she's just I just look down and she's there and I have no idea like how long she's been there for. So that's pretty much why I frame everything as like a we because I she is always like with me and I love it. I love it so much. She's just the best. Yeah. She always looks so happy to see you. Yeah. And I'm always happy to see her as well. So she's just the fluffiest little cat.
Yeah, she's such a pretty cat.
Yeah.
Look at
And
Jen.
very, very, very sweet as well. Though uh she has she has done little bites. So so far because I kind of massage her paws when she's like on my lap and sometimes it's a little bit too much for her. And
Mhm.
she's had several teeth extractions. So she barely has any teeth left. Like she has like I don't know like 3 teeth left or something like that. No, she has more. But so every once in a while she does like a little bite when she's like, that's enough.
A little warning bite.
Okay. And I don't know if you want to do another one or if you would like to end here, Laura.
Um, what do you want to do? Just one more,
Yeah, let's
and maybe I'll
do.
read for this one. And yeah,
Sure, that sounds good. I'm gonna do about probably about half and half. When Olivia's on my lap like this, I kind of have to read for fun. So,
no other choice.
okay.
All right, I will talk to you in half an hour.
Okay. Okay, everyone. 3, 2, 1, and start. Okay. How did it go?
Good. I got 2 chapters done.
Oh,
Yeah, it was good. I find so I'm reading. Wait, how can I show
well, yeah.
you?
What are you reading?
I'm trying to find the cover. There, I'm reading Sally Rooney's
Oh,
new book.
right. Yeah,
Um,
so many people are excited about that one too.
yeah, my sister already read it, and she got it for her birthday, and she like 3 days later, I sent her a message and I said, "So how are you enjoying the book?" And she said, "Yeah, I finished it. I think I'm going to read it again now." So she's on her second
Oh my
second reading.
god.
She's very into my younger sister is very into Sally Rooney, but I really like Sally Rooney too, and I'm not sure so far. I'm not sure about this. We'll see. I I I might like I can't tell at this stage. I'm on chapter 7, but it's very like quick. I find quick
Oh,
to
that's
read,
good.
so that's always nice. Yeah. How did
Oh,
your stuff go?
it went really well. But I love that feeling after you are like finished. Oh, Olivia just heard something or heard someone that she's gonna go see. Um, but yeah, so there are definitely those books that you finish and then you just like want to read them again.
That's the best. I you're right. That is the best feeling.
It
Yeah.
totally is.
And
I
it's kind
remember
of rare for me, but yeah.
it's rare for me too. Like after I finished Mexican Gothic, I was just like, I need to read this book again. But then I didn't read it again. I might kind of like listen to it on and off for like the next little while just to have it like around. Um, actually, this book, like after I read it, I know it's a thriller, but I really did want to like reread it like right afterwards and just like look at little hints and stuff that were given along the way.
Yeah, it's fun rereading kind of mysteries, knowing the solution because you have a better appreciation for what the author did and like dropping
Yeah,
hints along the way.
I love it. I love to see like all the little hidden things. Have you seen I know Angela has, but have you watched the House on The Haunting of Hill House? I don't know what
I have not.
always forget what it's called, but it's like what it like
You're right,
that
it's The
show.
Haunting of Hill House.
The Haunting of Hill House. I think there's like a book and then there's like a movie adaptation called The Haunting and then there's like the Netflix and they all have different titles and it just I can never get it straight because I've read the book, I've watched the movie and then I've watched the Netflix show so they all just bleh. Um but anyway, the Netflix show like is so cool to watch because there are little like hidden things that you can see like um like little Easter eggs. And
I
I
love
watched
that.
these YouTube videos that show you what like the Easter eggs were like and you're like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe that was like hidden in front of us in plain sight." I love it.
Yeah, I
It's like
love
a
that
treasure
so much.
hunt.
So satisfying. Yeah.
Yeah. So I did readings, so I read through like a whole section, which is nice. Um, I'm doing it by weeks, so I have 11 weeks, and I read week 1, and then this one, I read for about 10 minutes of the sprint, and I think I read uh, about 9 pages of this one. So I've done like the first 2 chapters or so, and I'm really liking this so far. Like,
Yeah,
really liking it.
I'm excited to hear
Mhm.
what you think of it because that's definitely one that I'd be interested in as well if you recommend it when you're done. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very intriguing, and it's like New York in like the early 1900s, and I just love anything
I
that
love
is like
period.
set in.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. Oh, that's so
Yeah.
exciting. I'm so interested in that one. I maybe I'll add it to my Goodreads now. And I'll still wait for your review.
like at the very least, this is a very beautiful book.
Cover.
Like cover, yeah, exactly. It sort of reminds me of this cover a little bit. Not really, but like
Have you read that yet?
they're both like they both kind of have similar kind of looks.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
I read this one.
I've been wanting to read it because Angela loved it. So I've been
I
really wanting to
really
read it.
did not like it at all.
Ooh, yes, fun. Too bad it wasn't a book club.
I know. Well, I mean, okay. I shouldn't say I didn't like it at all because the beginning of it was really intriguing. Um, it dragged on for way too long. And yeah, and then the ending was kind of good. So I think I would give it like, okay, I didn't like it at all. It's not fair. I would give it maybe like a, a 3 at most, probably like a 3. Um, but yeah, and just like writing that is like V. Schwab, I think she just kind of has this very distinctive voice, and it's like very like poetic and flowery, and it doesn't really do it for me. But this one I am really liking. It's like a totally different story, but it is set in a different timeline. It has a black cover with like rose gold, and it's intriguing to me. Like, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, nice. That's interesting about Addie LaRue.
Yeah, I think I shouldn't have said I didn't like it at all. I did
Well,
like parts of it. I did like parts of it quite a bit.
yeah, it's fair to say that anytime because it's always subjective. So it makes me like more curious to read it now because I want to know which side I'm gonna fall on.
I'm curious. I think Stephanie also really liked it.
Yeah.
I think Stephanie did, and I think Kristen really liked it too.
Ooh. I'm the only
So
one
most
who
of,
has
yeah.
read it.
uh, yeah, but yeah.
All right, so shall we end it here? I think we both seem to have a successful couple of
I think
hours.
it was. I think it was a very successful time reading, being productive, and all the things.
Thank you so much
And
for hosting as usual.
oh yeah, no problem. And
That's the
I just want
best.
to.
You're just there enjoying your coffee and losing track of time.
Oh,
Weekend
that is
days.
great.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
I do too. I agree with that.
Yeah. Different tastes. The more distant away from it, the more I'm like, I wouldn't really pick it up again. But yeah, it's just how I felt reading the book. Don't hate me if you loved it. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for staying and for being productive, and I hope that you have a great weekend. All right, see you. Bye.